teary-eyed. But yeah, and then I wake up the next day and like have a phone call like with my lawyers for one of the lawsuits.
Jake Paul has hit rock bottom after a shocking sparring session with Mike Tyson, and the fallout is staggering. What was expected to be a fierce showdown has turned into a brutal defeat, leaving Jake in tears. Despite months of trash talk and grand claims about knocking Tyson out on November 15th at the AT&T Arena, he just faced a harsh reality check. The sparring session exposed his vulnerabilities in a way few anticipated, and the knockout he received could mark the end of his boxing career. Fans are left questioning how Jake can possibly bounce back from such a humiliating setback. After transitioning from a YouTuber to a boxer, this moment might be the final chapter for him. It's hard to see a path forward as the former Disney star faces the harsh truth. It may be time to hang up the gloves for good. The question now is, can he recover from this epic fail?
I am retiring from boxing. I'm getting hit in the face every single day while I could be playing soccer in Saudi. I'm friends with the Saudis slash football.
Back in the day?
I was on the A team in 7th grade. I have a really good kick. I can run fast, and I'll knock out everyone that with us. Please give me $1 billion.
And I approve this mess.
We have exclusive footage from the sparring session where Mike Tyson dramatically drops Jake Paul. After witnessing Jake's lack of readiness for a seasoned pro, Mike decided to pull the plug on their big fight. But it wasn't just the event that was canceled. Tyson's dominance in the ring may have ended Jake's boxing career altogether. During last week's pre-fight sparring, Mike delivered a total beatdown, leaving everyone in the gym stunned. Jake was humiliated, getting smacked around in a way that left jaws on the floor. Since then, he has been in tears, grappling with the reality of his situation and the possibility that this could be the end of his boxing journey.
Suing me for something I didn't do. Like, on God, it's just the most bullshit thing. And I literally had to pay them a lot of money.
The story only gets crazier from here. You won't believe what Jake Paul did after his humiliating defeat. Trust me, you'll want to know all the details of this incident, so let's dive right in. Jake's overconfidence just hit a brick wall, and that wall was Mike Tyson himself. The two finally stepped into the ring for a pre-fight sparring session to gauge their abilities, and Jake's fantasy of becoming the next boxing kingpin came crashing down hard. Jake entered the ring riding high on his ego, convinced he could take on a legend. But Tyson didn't hold back. At 58, Mike was sharper, faster, and far more powerful than Jake had ever anticipated. After just a few rounds, Tyson rocked Jake with a combination that sent him straight to the canvas. In that moment, all the swagger and big talk Jake had been throwing around for months evaporated. It's been apparent for a while that Jake's stamina isn't where it should be, and this sparring session proved it. The brutal reality of the situation left Jake exposed, showing that he was in way over his head. Fans are left wondering how he will recover from this crushing defeat, and what's next for his boxing career. Most of the footage for that disastrous sparring session will likely remain under wraps, and that's one thing Jake Paul is probably grateful for right now. The session was private, intended to assess both fighters' readiness, but sources say the knockout was brutal. Just imagine the embarrassment if that footage were to leak. It's ironic considering Jake has built his entire persona around being a knockout artist, flaunting his power and KO highlights like trophies. Now he's the one kissing the canvas in the most humiliating way possible. Remember his bold talk at the presser on August 18th? That confidence has taken a serious hit, leaving fans questioning his future in boxing.
On your little menopause break and postpone the fight, so yeah. What about that, dog? I was ready before, you needed a little break. Your tummy hurt? Your tummy hurt still?
Jake Paul, the so-called problem child, was practically daring Mike Tyson to come at him. He went as far as to mock Tyson for his age and health, boldly challenging him in front of the entire boxing world. In a fit of bravado, Jake even cursed out the city of New York, claiming he was going to take down their legendary fighter as if it would be the crowning achievement of his career. Fast forward just 2 weeks after that press conference, and Jake's entire boxing career is hanging by a thread. During the sparring session, Tyson demonstrated exactly why he's considered one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. It wasn't just the raw power Mike brought to the ring, it was also his incredible ability to read Jake's moves, dodging punches with a ring IQ that only decades of experience can provide. At one point, Tyson landed a brutal right hook that left everyone in the gym buzzing, their eyes wide as they watched Jake struggle to stay on his feet. That knockout blow was the final straw, marking not just the loss, but the end of Jake's delusion that he could hang with the real pros. the problem child that convinced the entire boxing world that he was some sort of A-list athlete with his cocky persona and talk of knocking out Tyson. But now that he's been exposed in the ring, his credibility has taken a nosedive. Let's not forget how Jake's words came back to haunt him during that August 18 press conference, where he had the audacity to claim that Tyson's time was up and that he was going to put the old man to rest. He said it with such conviction, as if the legendary Mike Tyson were just another name on his hit list. Now, just 2 weeks later, it's evident that Jake was living a fantasy world. Not only did Mike humiliate him in that sparring session, but Jake's entire career is now in jeopardy. It's wild how quickly things turned, from Jake making bold promises to him eating those very words in the ring. The financial implications are equally staggering. This wasn't just a fight, it was supposed to be a major payday, with millions at stake in fight earnings and sponsorships. Even Netflix was on board to produce a massive documentary about the event. This was said to be one of the biggest money-making opportunities of Jake's career. Now, after being wrecked by Mike Tyson, all that potential revenue has vanished. Contracts have been canceled, and the documentary is likely off the table. Jake was poised to cash in big, but instead, he's walking away with nothing but a bruised ego. Talk about a rapid descent from the top to rock bottom. Let's be honest, this turn of events was bound to happen. Jake Paul's entire boxing career has been precarious from the start. Sure, he had the hype, the clout, and some knockout wins against washed-up athletes and social media stars. But deep down, everyone knew he didn't belong in the same conversation as real fighters. It's as if Jake has been playing dress-up, pretending to be a professional boxer while real stars like Gervonta Davis and Canelo Alvarez are out there grinding and putting in the hard work. The boxing ring isn't some playground for YouTubers trying to boost their brands. It's a battlefield for athletes who have dedicated their lives to the sport. Jake has always relied on his brash personality to stay relevant in the fight game, talking a big game, calling out legends, and embracing the villain role. But that's all it's ever been, smoke and mirrors. Lately, Jake has been in way over his head, calling out the biggest names in the sport without truly assessing his skill level. Think about the fighters he's challenged. They are seasoned professionals with years of experience and dedication behind them. As the reality of his situation sinks in, it becomes clear that the bravado that once propelled him is now crumbling. Jake Paul has reached a turning point, and how he navigates this fallout will determine the future of his boxing career.
What is up, you Irish cunt? Good morning, Conor McGregor. I know you're probably beating up old dudes in a bar right now, or maybe you're jacking off because you're sick of wife. I mean, she's a 4, Conor. You could do a lot better, but happy Monday. My team sent you a $50 million offer this morning.
Conor McGregor, one of the most dangerous strikers in MMA, has fought legends and built a remarkable legacy. Yet, Jake Paul acts as if he can take him on. Let's be real. Conor has faced the best of the best, while Jake entered boxing primarily to maintain his name in the spotlight after his YouTube fame. But boxing isn't just a fleeting trend. It's not a game you can play to stay relevant. The recent sparring session with Mike Tyson revealed that Jake has been skating by on hype alone, and Tyson exposed him for what he truly is, out of his league. The boxing ring is a sacred space for true athletes, where legacies are forged and reputations can be shattered in an instant. For fighters like Gervonta Davis and Canelo Alvarez, boxing is life. For Jake, it has always felt more like a marketing stunt, which is why his career was doomed from the start. When he faced someone who understands what it means to be a real fighter, his entire act crumbled. Now, he's left with nothing but a bruised ego and a shattered reputation, as fans gradually realize that Jake never really belonged in the fight world to begin with. Jake's reaction after being knocked out by Mike Tyson was one of devastation. This hit him hard, not just physically, but mentally. After all the trash talk and hype, getting wrecked in front of everyone was a massive blow to his ego. But here's the kicker. Jake isn't just done with this fight. He claims he's done with boxing altogether. He stated that he's had enough, and that the fight world never really took him seriously. In his words, "They've been bringing me down from the start." Now he's talking about going back to his roots, ditching the gloves, and leaving the boxing ring behind. While we all knew the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight was in jeopardy, this knockout ensures it will never see the light of day. So that's all I have for you today. Do you think Jake still deserves a spot in the fight world? Fill the comment section with your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next video.